everybody, and welcome to the Broman podcast, episode 144, with a very special guest, Samantha Lupo, the charity director for Gaming Community Expo.
That's so special sounding.
It is special. It's super special. This is a unique podcast because well, we're also kind of coupling this with telling all of you that we have a new charity director in town at GCX, and it's Samantha Lupo. And isn't that exciting? So yeah, do you want to say hello to everybody and introduce yourself and all that stuff for folks who might not know you?
Yeah. Hi. I'm Sam. If you maybe have heard of me or maybe have not, but I am a mama to a 6-year-old boy named Charlie. I manage my husband's streaming. If you know who Dr. Lupo is, that is the other half right here. And I do all of the things that is not go live. He does all that. I do everything behind the scenes. And now I have this fun new job, right, of doing charity director for GCX, which was like, it's been a dream for a few years to do something like this. So yeah.
Oh man, just right off the start with my heart. That's yeah. You know, to cover the GCX part first, because I think a lot of people probably might be listening for that. We at GCX realized as Rare Drop was growing that we wanted to work with more charities and like try to help more folks. But in doing that, it became really apparent that, GCX is a full-time job. And it is something that needs a lot of attention to be incredibly successful. And so we kind of realized that last year and we were like, oh man. And Samantha had been so incredibly helpful the entire time getting the marathon ready last year. I've told her this, and I'll say it a million times. Like, I don't know if we would have gotten it done without all of her help. And so it was sort of a dream for us. I remember we talked about messaging, and they were like, do you think she'd accept? And I was like, I have no idea. I really, really hope so, because she was so helpful. So, that's part of the reason why we're handing everything off. And I mean, yeah, like Samantha is like one of the most tenured fundraising people in the gaming space. Like you mentioned that, Ben hits the go live stuff, but listening in on the Build Against Cancer meetings and working with you last year, it became really obvious that you have like an incredible talent for designing these kind of events. So I'm honored to work with you. My question in all of that is, what has it been like growing that skill for fundraising, right? Like it's obviously started small and then ended up with Build Against Cancer and things that we're doing together now. But like that road is so strange. So what was it like?
It is. I mean, it's not like you're a kid and you're like, I want to be a director of a charity event and stuff like that. But I think what makes it fairly easy for me is that my parents have always been entrepreneurs. They've always owned their own businesses. They've always done their own projects. My dad's always, finished our own basements and built our own houses. And like, they've always just done stuff on their own and then ask for help when they need it, kind of thing. And so that's just what is natural to me, is to just take an idea and do it. And then, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if it does, then cool, then improve on it. And then following years after that. So I, like, outside of college, or actually, I guess I was still in college, I was managing a portrait studio in the mall. And then I started my own business for 10 years. And then, so I already had like that whole business side and business brain kind of like stuck in me from the age of whenever you can comprehend that stuff. Right. And so for me to do something like this, it combines two things that I feel like I'm fairly good at. And one is having a business persona, and two is being creative. I always wanted to be an artist of some kind, a planner, a designer of something. And I fulfilled that with having 10 years of a successful photography business, and was kind of ready for a new new dream after that. I thoroughly believe you don't have to have just one dream, and you can, accomplish a dream job, and then you can find a new dream job and go for that as well. So when I was taking over for Ben and helping him plan out stuff, Build Against Cancer was still fairly new, and it was his idea, his baby. I was just there to answer the emails for it. And it wasn't until last year in 2020 that he was like, I want to do something different. Like, what can we do that's different? And I said, I have ideas. And I did like a full presentation.
Oh man.
Of like, this is how I would do it. These are all my ideas. Here's some guest ideas, and here's how I would structure everything and all this kind of stuff. And at the end, he's like, all right, tell me what I need to do. And he just kind of sent me on my way. And I think I was really craving that because I had quit my photography business the year prior in 2019. I was kind of burned out from it. For health issues, I have Lyme disease. So it was just really hard for me to constantly be doing, 10 shoots a week and staying up late to edit those with chronic fatigue is just not fun. And so for about a year, I kind of had nothing that to really grasp a hold of other than, put your head down and daily grind kind of stuff. So when he gave me the reins for that, I just kind of exploded with all this excitement. So when you guys asked me to help with GCX this last year, I was like, yeah, like I didn't use this person or this person or this person or this person for BAC. I could totally use you for GCX. And then it turned into like, oh, hold on, I need to save some of my own stuff for me instead of giving you all of my ideas. So but now you can use all of them.
Yeah, and now it can be teamwork.
Yes.
Which is
that's where it is.
So you said a lot of stuff, and I'm super curious about. You said your parents were really very entrepreneurial, and it was always about like this refining process. Like how has that been part of your, I guess, like journey of employment, right? Because you've kind of hopped around from different things, and you said that you believe that you don't have to just have one dream. So I'm super interested, like what sort of skills carried over through all of this into like what you're doing now?
I think organization is the biggest thing. Being able, and what's so funny is because like I am a naturally messy person. I'm a very messy person. Like I set a cup down and it does not get touched for like a week kind of thing in my office. And so but I can organize that kind of stuff in my brain. Like I can totally see the mental map, like what was it called when like the spider web that you have to make when you're in school.
Oh yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Like the web map kind of thing. Like that all makes sense in my brain. And having to, work for a corporate studio, I had to stick with very strict rules and things had to be done certain ways. And I kind of just picked up from that. And, I think that's like the biggest thing is all of it is organization and also the ability to speak with confidence and present yourself with confidence, even if you don't have it, is the biggest thing. The fake it till you make it kind of thing. That's 100% a real thing. So I think being able to combine all those ideas together and present them in a way that gets people excited is something that I've used in every single job that I've ever had. So
and that's like the direct line to being able to do fundraising effectively, especially in the gaming space when things change rapidly. Well, the live streaming space in particular, like things change so quickly, like there's new expectations and there's trend reading and there's all of this stuff that has to go into like making just one choice. But you have to go out and find people that are willing to support each one of these tiny ideas that turn into the big show. And it's hard. I like sometimes you do have to go in there and you'll be like, this is the best thing that I could think of at this moment, but it's like you're like, that's it. Like, that's what we're going to try and stick through and make happen. And it is really difficult to get people to believe in something that they can't see. It's very conceptually talking to, like, saying, oh, well, we're going to have like a little character on the stream that's going to run out and like carry your logo around and all this other stuff. It's not like there's a concrete example of it. Right. As to like the return of value or things like that. And it's a fun problem to try and solve. So what has been your favorite thing that you've put together so far?
I really think Build Against Cancer last year was something unique in its own way, that it was produced from where I am sitting and where Ben is sitting. Not you, other Ben, my Ben.
Yeah. Not me.
And that was it. And we have an amazing team with Ben's management team and you guys and St. Jude. I was gonna say Rogue right after that. And Rogue. And we just have like a really great team at our fingertips that made it all possible. But that weekend, I did not leave this chair. Ooh. And it was really cool to see that that we were able to have so many different guests, and we had hosts, and those hosts had guests, and we were able to make everything happen. And if I remember correctly, there was like maybe one technical issue. Otherwise, we had zero technical issues the whole entire time. And it was a fun thing that Ben and I were excited about. And when the two of us get really excited about something, like just the energy between us is so fun, and we're laughing, and just like everything felt good. And Charlie was able to be involved last year with decorating cookies with me, and that was purely his idea. His goal was $1,000, and he raised $70,000 in an hour. And so like it was cool to make it a whole family experience for me.
Yeah, and that is something, you do such an excellent job of incorporating the family element into much of the content that you make. And I think that it's really incredible how you approach that as a parent. You do things thoughtfully because like, I'm trying to put the question together. But like, it's not about like, you're my kid, so you're gonna do this. It's, like you said, like Charlie wanted to, he like chose to participate. So from a parenting perspective, what's that like trying to manage a huge event that might have this little tiny part of it decide, things are going to change right. I mean, at the last minute?
It could be 2 minutes before and he could just tell me he doesn't want to do it. Yeah. And at that point, Ben just would have played Minecraft longer kind of thing. Yeah. That's the plan this year. Charlie wants to be a scientist. He wants to be a roboticist and a rocket scientist when he gets older. And so he wants to do science experiments for everybody. And he has his little goggles, and we have our science books, and we have like the test tubes and stuff like that. And I know that it could take me an hour to set all of that up. And 2 minutes beforehand, he can say, I just want to play games on my iPad. And I'd have to be like, cool. I thoroughly enjoy setting this stuff up just to take it down. But I think that he, you never get to choose which family you're born into, and in the situations that your parents, those decisions that they make, you don't get a choice in that as a kid. So for him, anytime that he's posted on social media or I take his picture, I ask him, hey, can I take your picture? And like, if we're at the pumpkin patch and he says no, and I'm like, all right, let's go do something else then. And if he's going to be in a story or something like that on Instagram, I always just say, hey, can I record a video for Instagram? And he knows what that is. And he'll usually say yes, but sometimes he'll just be like, I don't really want to. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Cause you don't have to, you don't have to be me. And so that's been a really big thing for us. We asked him this year if he wanted to be part of Building Against Cancer again. And he said yes. On the walk home from school a couple days ago, he told me that his goal this year is $4,000. I was like, buddy, you did $70,000 last year. And he's like, I know, but just in case, I think $4,000 is bigger than 1,000. And I'm like, it is. So his goal is $4,000 this year.
Oh my, that made my heart so happy.
Right?
Oh, that's so cute.
But it's just so cool to see him want to be involved and be proud of his dad and be proud of his mom and be proud of himself. Like my favorite clip from Building Against Cancer last year was Charlie when he was just like, I'm 1000% proud of myself. And I was like, of course you are, because you're so awesome. But yeah, as a parent, like it's never forced upon him. And I think that's the way that allows him to be engaged with the causes that we're passionate about on his own. I don't ever want him to be a puppet, and I don't want to use him for content or use him for, raising money or getting money myself or anything like that. Like I want him to be who he is, and it just happens that he is, enjoying the things that we enjoy. So
I think that's awesome. Like that's really cool.
He's a cool kid. So
he's a cool kid. I want to talk a little bit about, like, you did coordinate everything remotely for Build Against Cancer last year. That is like a technical monster. So how did you go about like organizing all of that?
I am not the tech person. Ben would be the tech person. But when it came down to it, so he would be the one. He's the one that came up with the idea that they stream. He grabs it. He restreams it. Yada yada yada. There probably was a better way of doing that, but in the time, that was what we knew we were capable of doing. He has his beefy 3 PC setup, so he's able to do that without any kind of like image loss, all that kind of stuff. Techie words. But as far as like coordinating to make sure that the handoffs and all that kind of stuff were solid. I am 100% a pen and paper person. So everything was just written down. And so like for this year with planning Build Against Cancer, our team got a little bit bigger. And everyone's like, do you have like a spreadsheet? And I was like, no, of course I don't have a spreadsheet. I have pen and paper, and I know everything that's going on, and that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Is you guys don't need to know what's going on unless I need you to know something that's going on.
Yeah.
That's why I think I work so well, just like with a small team. So when we had our first call for Build Against Cancer, we had like, I think 17 people on the first call. And I'm just sitting here looking at the list of people, and I was like, man, this is a lot of people. I don't think, is it really necessary to have 5 people from one place on the same call kind of thing? But you know what? The team is what makes it happen. But the tech stuff, 100% Ben, that's all his brainchild and everything. But I had to then explain that to everybody that was coming through. And once I got people, they're like, I'm doing what? I'm streaming, but then you're capturing my stream, but are people in my stream? And I was like, yeah, just tell your mods, tell them to go somewhere else kind of thing. And, it probably, like I said, it could have been better. It could have been smoother. We had a lot of people messaging us being like, you should do this, because they told us what you guys did for GCX and like streaming to a server and stuff like that. And I was like, nah. We're just going to do our own thing.
I mean, I did not touch that. Like, that was all Paul. Yeah. I was like, they were like, we're going to do all this streaming stuff. And I was like, I trust you. Have fun. I trust you. But we managed that. We managed all that really well. I'm very much the same way with, like, I have all the ideas, and then like once it's good, then, you tell the rest of the team, like, this is when I need help, or this is what we need to kind of organize. And it's been fun over the past couple of weeks to brainstorm with you. And then now trying.
We both have our notebooks. We both have our notebooks out. Yeah. We're both like scribbling in silence for like a minute or so. And we're like, okay.
I actually, for the first time, I caught that like last week, and I was like, oh, like I'm not talking. And I was like, is this okay? Of course.
It was totally it was perfect. Like that's what it was. It was just perfect because I knew you were there if I needed you, but I didn't need you. But it was just nice to know that you were there and I could just ask you a question right away, or if I had an idea or whatever. Like that kind of collaboration is I think is good and it's a lot of fun.
I love brainstorming is my favorite because you just get to think of stuff and then it doesn't matter if it's reasonable or not yet. Like you get to show up and ask other people something. You're like,
somebody else's job.
Is this reasonable? And they're like, no, not at all. It's not like, but
can you make it reasonable?
Yeah, like the unreasonable requests are where cool things show up. Like that's how we got everyone really wanted a Destiny PvP tournament. I think it was 2017 and yes, maybe. I don't know. If Kevin was here, he'd know. But we were told by everybody on the production side of things, like, well, it's really complicated to capture all those points of view and like do this other stuff. And we don't know if you could produce that. And we were like, we'll do it anyway. And it worked. And I think we were the only event for a while. I don't know if we're still the event that like managed to capture everybody, all 6 players' perspectives or something like that. It's like a really proud production point. But now it's not hard anymore. But that was like a technical feat back in the day, getting all that hardware running. So I like unreasonable requests. What's the most unreasonable idea that you've seen come to full fruition?
I had a really great idea for this year and it didn't come to fruition.
Oh, those are the worst.
In the full scope that I wanted. Which, I mean, when is this going out? This is going out before Building Against Cancer?
This is going out before BAC, yeah.
Okay, so it should be announced by then. But I wanted to do a stupid giant Uno tournament that lasted 4 weeks. And, last year it was so easy to have 10 people be in an Among Us lobby because everybody was stuck at home. And this year people aren't, and people are working again and traveling, and they want to go do things for the holidays and not be home to be part of my Uno tournament. And I was like, I need 27 people. And I got to 13, and then everyone just started dropping out the closer we got. And I was like, okay, so maybe it's just this instead. And I got it down to like needing 9 people, and then more people started dropping out. And I was like, fine, we're just doing one 2-hour block during Building Against Cancer, and that's what it is. And I had all my people, and then someone else had to drop out, and I was like, thank goodness I got backup people. And now we have our core. We have our core group of Ben and 3 other people. It'll be great. But that's opposite of what your question was. Your question was the best thing that I think, honestly, the getting non-gaming celebrities on Build Against Cancer last year was my favorite accomplishment. We had Mark Hoppus, we had Rahul Kohli, and we had Robbie Amell play Fall Guys with Ben. Like, what a random group of people.
Yeah.
But they just meshed so well together. And then for Among Us, we had 9 other celebrities that, thank goodness for Gary Whitta last year. He was like, yeah, let me ask so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, because they were on Animal Talking with me. And I have all these connections because I write plays in Star Wars movies and stuff like that. And it's just like, please let me use you for all of your connections. And I think it was just really cool to get a lot of people that normally don't game or aren't known purely in the gaming sphere to come in and be a part of stuff. That was a lot of fun and something I didn't think that I'd be able to accomplish.
That was really, really cool. And I do appreciate you sharing the failed idea, because like that's the other part of it, is that you have to also really be able to watch like you have to watch a great idea you had kind of get dismantled into its parts, and then like you're like And
I feel like I made a
it's
sandcastle.
difficult.
People just kept pushing the waves up onto it. It just kept getting smaller and less looking like a sandcastle, but in the end, it's still a sandcastle.
Yeah, I've definitely had a fair share of those kind of ideas.
The big one that we wanted to do, this was in 2019, so I think we still had the physical event then, but we wanted to try and set up some sort of crowd control robots to like roam the floor. And it was like going to be so fun. And you'd be able to go to like twitch.tv/GCX robot 1 and then like use bits to move them around the floor and stuff like that. Oh yeah. But you know, who's got the time to
expensive.
Yeah, exactly. That was yes, exactly. That did sound expensive. Yeah. So that is when, for me, that's when I learned the importance of having partners. There's some really cool stuff that we've been able to pull off at GCX, but it's because we've had incredible partners come in and like agree that, oh, this idea is good. Just like having so many non-gaming celebrities show up and play Fall Guys. It just ends up being a group of folks that believe in your idea, and then they show up, which I'm always astonished.
Right.
When folks
it feels good when people show up or people like respond to an email. Like it just is the best feeling that you just know you're being acknowledged. And one day I will make an Uno tournament work out exactly how I imagine. But I totally understand this year is against me, and also I've never done it before. So I kind of went in, let's jump in at level 10
right at the
instead
top,
of starting a little smaller.
That is
big ideas.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere with the big ideas. I wanna take a step back from GCX, and I want to talk about another sort of shared background experience we have is you are no stranger yourself to making content, and being a content creator, whether that was in your photography in the past or your channel, which I believe you still stream on sometimes, right? There's podcasts.
I haven't in a few months.
Okay.
A lot of things have been going on. I had a talk show that just hit a year, but it's been like a month and a half or more since we've done that show. So life's been busy.
Sure, but I absolutely understand that as somebody who was still streaming full time at the beginning of this year, and doing all of the things like this has slowly kind of chipped away at my time there. So one day I'm sure I'll be saying the same things to someone else. But what kind of value do you feel like just having done that yourself brings into, this experience of being the charity director for a live streaming event?
I think it's just being able to present yourself in a way that people can attach themselves to. I am a super shy, quiet introvert, and you would never know unless you put me in a situation that I am not in control of. And that's why I thrived at shooting weddings, because everyone had to listen to me. I would never see these people again usually. And so when you're corralling all of the wedding guests, and you are like all the family members for family pictures, and you have 50 people you have to find. I got to, be a little aggressive and a little harsh with my words in order to get people where I needed them to be. And I got to, do the air traffic controller type stuff. And it always just felt good. But then one of the relatives would try to talk to me afterwards, and I would just like clam up into a ball and be like, I have to go work now. I need to go take this picture of these flowers so I don't have to talk to you.
Oh my gosh.
So I think being able to present yourself with confidence and the ability to ask for things is a big thing that I still am learning. And I would say that majority of the time I don't have imposter syndrome when it comes to what I feel like my ability is. But occasionally, it creeps in for everybody. But I'm pretty dang confident when I know that if I have an idea and I know somebody can help me with it, that I can go there and be this larger than life, confident, stand tall kind of person. And then as soon as I'm done, I can be like, okay, now I can go curl in a blanket and not talk to anybody for a day kind of thing.
I definitely understand the curl in a blanket and don't talk to anybody. I wanted to reiterate that when you were describing the scenario where you knew you were never going to see anyone again, I was like, what a dream, a place to truly be free. like
how many, very rarely, I would get like a couple that I would meet at somebody else's wedding and they're like, you shot so-and-so's wedding and I want you to shoot mine now. And I was like, okay, cool. But even then, like, they were just a guest at that point. They were nobody I was trying to impress. I'm trying to impress my bride and groom, and that's it. I don't care about anybody else's opinions in the time. So, if random aunt comes up and is like, I want to do pictures like this, and I'd be like, no, you're not paying me. Have a good day. If you want a picture like that, go talk to the bride and she'll tell me that.
Oh my God. That's you stonewalled people. That's cool.
And that's what's so crazy is if you know me in real life and in person, I'm not that way. I'm very like reserved and quiet, and I would describe myself as a very passive friend. I will disappear for months on end and then just randomly show up and be like, hey, you want to be friends? And people are like, yeah, because I knew that you've always been there. You just, that's who you are. And a lot of my friends really appreciate the fact that I am a very low maintenance friend. And so it's very funny. Ben got to see me at a wedding once where I was shooting, and at the end he's like, I had no clue who you were because you were not the Sam that I know.
Oh my gosh. So photography definitely prepared you for trying to herd dozens of streamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say though that streamers are and just like content creators, celebrities, all of the like are way harder to herd than drunk relatives at a wedding. Even when they go missing, I still can find them way easier than I can get a hold of somebody that's like sleeping or time zones. Time zones are the devil. And we had that last year with Rahul Kohli. He was filming something in Canada, and he drove overnight back home to California, and he wrote down the time zone wrong. And so I was contacting him through email and trying to stay professional and stuff like that. But it wasn't until I couldn't get a hold of him 10 minutes before that I had to jump into the Twitter DMs and be like, yo,
hey,
where are you? And he responds, he's like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Am I on video or do I need to put on pants? And I was like, you're not on video. Just get
oh
on,
my God.
on the computer. And he'd only slept for 4 hours, but it was just, that was the most frantic I think that I'd ever been trying to find him. And I felt so bad because he had driven overnight 12 hours and only got to sleep for 4 hours.
Oh.
And then I had to make him go play video games and perform for an hour.
That's rough. I've definitely had some down to the wire moments during the history of the marathon. Right. Luckily,
because I'm a huge fan of his, and so I wanted to be like, Mr. Kohli, can you please show up on time? I'm so nervous talking to you. I still get starstruck a lot with the people that we have met and or that know who we are or have a connection to every single time. I will never get over the fact that we get to meet the people and work with the people that we do. And I truly think that that's something that I would be really sad if, I got to meet XYZ actor and I was just like, oh, hey, and not afterwards being like, oh my gosh. Because I never want to disconnect, I guess, from who Sam Lupo is and was before, streaming and content creating and stuff like that. I want to be the same person.
I think that's really wise. That's really really wise to make sure that literally no one has ever said anything like that to me. I'm like processing it. It's really smart,
Really?
right?
Oh,
Like,
it's something that Ben and I have said from the very beginning. We've told our friends and family, if we ever become only Dr. Lupo and Mrs. Dr. Lupo, tell us. Bring us back down to earth, please. Like, the life that gaming and content creation has given us is something that we never initially went after. It just kind of, good choices and meeting the right people, and you being one of them. That started out Ben, and his drive upwards. At the end of the day, we're still just Ben and Sam. I don't ever want to be anything different than that. I don't want to become this new persona, and it's so hard, I think, to look at certain people and be like, oh yeah, that's XYZ, but really they're ABC when they're not on camera and they're a completely different person. And that's the person that I really enjoy, not this persona person. And why can't you just be the same person?
Yeah, I like I completely agree. That is something that I have always tried to not lose sight of. I mean, that's why I always wanted to help people. I mean, that's where GCX came from, was being like, hey, when people meet up, and I was like, let's help people. Let's raise money for charity. But for me, I think that there's part of me after like working in the industry for so long that doesn't experience that joy anymore. And I think like you just made me realize that I want it back. So I'm going to go get that back. And get excited and be like super. I want to freak out after I meet a celebrity person. I got so tired of, I guess last year, we had all these cool people that we've got to work with this year from other charities. We got to work with Katie Sakov, and she's like so nice and incredible. But I remember it still took like a couple of like times working together to really be like, oh my God. But I told Amy like the first time, she was like, that's incredible. Like, she's in The Mandalorian. And I was like, yeah, I know. I know, right? But I was so tired. And I think, that's, I don't know. Thank you for your insight. See, this is why.
I think even like, even with like Jordan Fisher, perfect example.
Yeah.
I consider him a really good friend, but every single time that he's on TV, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's Jordan. I am so proud of him. He's on TV. That's so exciting, and blah, blah, blah. And it'll never get old seeing him doing things and being able to be like, that's my friend, but also, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's my friend. Like the first time that I met him, he messaged Ben, I think it was at PAX maybe. And Ben was just like, do you know who Jordan Fisher is? And I was like, he's like, oh, I'm talking to him. I'm like, why? And he's like, well, now I have his phone number. He wants to meet up this afternoon. And I was like, stop it. And when we met, I just stood there and he's like, hi. I'm like, hey. And just my favorite, now I'm thinking of like all the times that I've freaked out in front of people that I've met.
I'm here for the stories. This is great.
Right. Brendan Urie was like, I love Panic at the Disco, and we met him at the Pro-Am. Well, I think like not the first big Pro-Am, the second Pro-Am, he was there. And Ben had been talking to him a long time. They had streamed together. And so like, I've talked to him a few times before that. And, always like, oh my gosh, Brendan Urie commented on my tweet or something like that. Super excited. But Ben told him ahead of time, I guess apparently messaged him. It was just like, hey, Sam is a super huge fan, like listening since high school. If you can just make her feel special, I know that she will love it. And so he he got to like the group of us standing there and hanging out, and he was saying hi to everybody, and me being the shy introvert, I'm literally behind Ben, and like looking at my phone because I don't want to assume that I get the acknowledgement of the celebrities, right? I just don't want to assume that, you know, that they have to talk to me.
Right.
And all of a sudden I realized that all these people were moving in front of me. It's because he was pushing them out of the way. And he came over and he said, Sam, I'm so excited to finally meet you in person. And he gave me a hug. And I was like, okay. Like it just straight up almost started crying as he was hugging me. That's such a fun and exciting feeling. I never want to get over that. And I have so many of those. And, you know, after you meet them and then you run into them in another thing, then it's like, you don't start crying afterwards, but it's still exciting that they remember you and they know your name and stuff like that. And, I think it's just fun. Why would you not allow yourself that experience, right? Of just those butterflies and that excitement.
Yeah. Right. You want to be there. You want to enjoy it. My favorite moment was meeting Big Show because I've never,
oh my God. A picture with him.
Him coming to GCX to do the belts with Bungie was just, he's so big.
Right. He sat down for our picture and he's like, I don't think you want me to stand. And I was like, no. I don't care what you do. It's like, you're talking to me. I do not care. Like, I was a WWF person 5 nights a week watching wrestling when in like my early teens. And that was a dream come true when Ben was like, he's backstage if you want to come back with me, because he was going to like talk to one of you guys and everything. And I was like, it's okay. And he's like, come on, you know that you want to meet him. And I'm like, okay, I do. I really do.
He was such a nice guy. So back to serious things.
Sorry,
none of it.
Stuff
no, that was great. None of it is serious because, like, you know, doing charity work, right? It's always going to include like a really, it's a massive cast of characters, right? Like everybody does charity work, regardless of, you know, what, like if you're a musician or if you build homes, like everybody does charity together. So it's really incredible the people that you get to work with.
Right.
And the ideas that you can come up with that only seem to exist because certain people get involved, which is those are my favorite kind of activations, like the Big Show handing out the titles for the world first, right? Like it just felt perfect, but you wouldn't want a non-WWF, because that's when I started too.
When they changed it, I was like, what is this?
I was like, I never thought about the pandas, honestly. It was stone cold. You know, but like him handing the belts out made it feel right, as opposed to, you know, like bringing in, I don't know, like a local congressperson or something like that. You'd be like, what are you like, what are you doing here? So it has to fit the forum. So I guess speaking of that, since you're taking over as the charity director for GCX, there are, you know, GCX is a physical event, which means that we get to do things on site that are different. What are you thinking this year about what we might want to, what people could see? Because these are all dreams and ideas. If we talk about anything that doesn't show up. But
so basically, you know, we're taking our Thursday meetings and we're putting them right now. Okay.
And we could take some of them, sure. No, but I think that, you know, for me, I've always been trying to plan something for the show floor, right? Like it's how can we get these people? How can we drive people to the St. Jude booth? Like who can we get to donate? Things like that. And that's been part of what I've been doing the whole time. And you've got a fresh set of ideas for how we could, you know, be approaching things. So I guess maybe the broader question or the bigger thing that we could discuss is like, you know, as we've been talking, what are some things this year that we're focusing on at GCX that people might want to be paying attention to?
I am excited how we are going to combine the marathon and the physical event together, because it's always been like way beforehand or it ends the day before, and this year we're meshing them a little bit, and I am excited to see how that plans out and how we can get people that are at home and the people that are at the event unified into something. And without giving away like what our ideas are for the end of the marathon, because I'm super excited. I don't want to jinx it by giving it away too early.
No, we're not going to do that.
No, but I'm excited just to see how we can combine the ways that we can have people at home still experience the event in a small way that entices them to have to come to the next one. Not just like, oh, that looks cool, but it is one of those things that, you know, you're saving up money for, and you're planning out your vacations around it and stuff like that. Like, I am excited to combine the two to make that all one giant thing. We have a prize pack for Build Against Cancer that is a trip for two, fully covered with American Airlines and all the way down to GCX and all of the events and stuff like that. And that is the most talked about prize on that prize list. And it's just something that I just was just like, what if, could we do this? Like, why have we never done this in years past kind of thing? And a lot of the time when you and I are talking about like what incentives can we do to, you know, get more money to St. Jude, I'm excited to see the crazy things that we can come up with, that we can get people to have to, it's not have to donate, really want to donate. And so they can get these cool prize packages or items and maybe things that are outside of just the typical, you know, headset and mouse and computer and stuff like that. And you know, we love all those too. Okay. But yes. I'm excited to see what fun new stuff we can do outside of the traditional gaming giveaways.
It's going to be, it's really fun. And I think, for me, it's been, you know, cause we had the event in Tampa and then we moved it to Orlando. And you know, this is the first year where we're going to try and put a lot of focus into the local community in Orlando to try and get people there to come out and provide them with really cool incentives and things like that. So it's going to be special. It's going to be really special. And I think that everybody's going to want to tune in or watch from home, and hopefully, you know, we'll get you some additional camera perspectives on the floor. I will tell you that the robot idea has been in every pitch that I have presented to any sponsor that's tech related. I'm like, would you like a robot?
You know what we need to do that would be cheaper, but everyone would still watch?
What?
Let's put a camera on a puppy dog.
That's such a good idea. They're going to be mad if we don't do it. That's great. I'm going to put puppy dog cam.
Does Rosenshingle let us have animals on site?
If he's staff, he or she, we don't know what kind of camera dog we're getting yet. But you know, it has a staff badge. No, he's our camera person.
Yeah, like wouldn't that be the cutest thing? You just put it on his little head, around his little neck, and then he can go around and everyone can pet him. And do you want to know my favorite stream on Twitch right now?
Please tell me.
It's the otter rescue stream.
Oh, what?
Do you know about this?
I'm about to.
Okay, hold on. It is pause. Okay. No. Pause. Sorry. Audio. It is marine mammal rescue. And what it is literally 24/7 of otters, I believe in Canada, that they're just swimming around in their pools.
Oh my God.
And I would totally love to see them take one of their a little camera and, you know, play with it under the water or something like that. Why not?
This is incredible.
And it has like calm. It's like, when I'm working, that's what I put up. And there's also a shrimp one as well, shrimp ASMR. That's a great one
shrimps?
too.
Like, what are the shrimps doing?
They're just in a tank. They're just
Oh,
little
just
shrimps
chilling?
in a tank, and there's bubble sounds in the background, and it's just relaxing,
Oh my God, look at that little otter.
right?
Oh my God, he's just swimming around. And he's eating something on his little tummy. What is this?
And then
Oh, man.
the people that run the stream are just volunteers at the rescue center. And obviously all the otters have names, and they talk about their personalities, and they give you facts throughout the whole entire day. Like, it's just the greatest thing ever. So why can't we do something like that, but with a puppy? And we have like puppy cam,
Yeah.
and it'd be like GCX puppy cam or something like that, and people can literally just watch a dog run around.
I wrote puppy cam down.
Puppy cam.
We got to do something. I mean, I'd give the Marine Mammal Rescue their own block. I think that everyone would. I mean, how could you not?
Wouldn't that be a great overnight block?
Yeah. Watch these otters sleep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that's
This
what it
is
is.
good.
At night, they turn on the night vision cameras. So it's all in black and white, but then you just watch them floating around and sleeping. And occasionally they roll around and get out, and
This is a wild idea, and I'm so on board with this.
do you want to know the best part about it is that they're in hot tubs, pools, and beaches category.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
That's right. So they jumped on when the whole, that whole stuff was going on, however long ago that was. It feels like 10 million years ago. And Ben and I were going through, and we were just like, what is going on in this category? And we see it, and I was like, no, done. Otters are like my
goodness
wannabe best friend. And I fancy myself an otter a little bit. And yeah, best thing ever. So there we go.
They're floating next to each other right now.
It's over with. We're just going to sit here for 10 minutes.
I'm just going to narrate how this is. You need to check it out. Listen, you need to follow Marine Mammal Rescue. Holy cow. That was really adorable. But like, it's things like that being like from the live streaming space. Like, I don't know if somebody who is coming in from a traditional fundraising perspective would be able to cobble together something like, what if we worked with an animal rescue that's doing a live stream for overnights? And that's kind of, I guess for me, that's why when we were kind of considering people for this, I really wanted to go to you first, because I know how much my experience in live streaming has helped guide what works and doesn't work, or what should fit, or things that we should try that are new or unique, or novel. So it was important to me that when we were finding the right person, that it was someone who knew the live streaming space beyond just Twitch, because that's become such a reality now that everybody for the longest time was like, we want stuff on Twitch, but now everybody has, Facebook, you have YouTube, you have everybody, even TikTok now with their Tiltify donation integrations and all of this other stuff. It has to become, or the job is necessitated by whatever's the best at grabbing attention at the time. And so it was, that's just more proof that you're going to be, this is going to be a great year. So going into 2022 and going into planning this whole marathon, what are some of what are you looking forward to the most? Maybe that's not a fair question, because
I don't want to like come in and try to change up the charity formula, right?
Right.
I thoroughly believe that eventually people are going to put too much attention on themselves and less on the charity. And with this like unspoken competition between charity events, right? You hear it all the time. So-and-so raised X amount of money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's so fun.
It's great.
When you don't really want to be. But I think that I'm excited to see how I can take something that's already good and just take it a step further. Because I don't, like I said, I don't want to come in and change it up and be like, hold up, now this is the Sam Lupo show kind of thing. Like, I still want it to feel like GCX, and because that's I think the draw of the event is that it is very community focused, and it's very feels like a family, and everyone feels like they're a part of it. And I know when Ben did Build Against Cancer and does Build Against Cancer, he is mimicking off of what he learned from being part of GCX all these years. And so I think, yeah, it might be fun to come in and try a couple new things and do a little bit of flashy and stuff like that. But in the end, I really just want to have it be focused on community. So I guess the biggest thing that I'm excited for is broadening what our scope and definition of the GCX community is. Finding new creators, finding new things outside of just gaming, and in showing everybody that that you don't have to be successful by playing video games to fundraise while live streaming in the gaming sphere. Seth Drums was the perfect example of that last year. I mean,
I love
he
Seth.
played drums the whole entire time, and he is a character in of himself. So that definitely helped a ton. But it was just, it's so cool to see people like him and like Brick and Nick, that when he was part of Building Against Cancer, he had to speed build Ben's logo, and at one point he had to drop the whole entire thing because somebody donated enough money. And I'm excited to make sure that we have a lot of diversity in the people that we have coming in, and we have a lot of inclusion of multiple different types of gaming communities too. Like, let's get the FPS people, yeah, for sure. Let's also get like the creative arts people. Let's get cozy games, and just, find something for everybody. Can we find somebody that can cook, that we can mess with them while they're cooking? Why not? And then they have to eat it at the end. Like, somebody donates enough money, you have to use salt instead of sugar. And like,
oh my God.
Can we do something like that?
Yes.
I think yes. Why not? Like, I think the answer is always yes. And it's just finding the right people that are there for the right reasons. I know a lot of people out there, they just want to kind of put charity on their resume of things that they have been a part of, because it is a little shiny glitter in the corner of a streaming resume to say that you've been part of a charity event.
Right.
But I want to find the people that are there, that are passionate and are ready to expand our community.
Yeah. Well, this has been an incredible time chatting, and thank you again for working with us, because we're so excited.
Ben accepted the job for me, if you remember on the call.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Where he was like, Kevin was like, "We would like to offer you a job," and I was like, "Oh wow, okay." And Ben's like, "Yeah."
She says yes.
She says yes. We'll talk about it, but she says yes.
Yeah, it was really that was super fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what GCX getting the full attention from someone, right? Because it hasn't been, I haven't been able to give it all the attention that it's needed over the past couple of years, and so I'm super excited to see what GCX 2022 is going to look like, with somebody watching it and guiding it the whole time, and really making sure that every piece and every broadcaster that's involved feels welcomed and a huge part of the community. So I will leave my comments at that. Is there anything that you would like to share or promote? I can imagine maybe one thing that you'd like to promote that might be happening soon that people should watch or tune in or check you out.
Yes. Build Against Cancer, for its 4th year, is this coming weekend, December 18th through the 19th, from noon Central to noon-ish Central. Who knows when Ben will finish. But this year, it's on YouTube. youtube.com/Dr. Lupo. And you know what? We are taking it and scaling it back a little bit and making it like the first couple of years. It's mainly going to be Ben doing some Minecraft, and you guys can mess with him. We'll have some friends come on and visit and talk. We're going to be playing a little bit of Uno instead of a large Uno tournament. But everything is going to be great. And this year we really just wanted to hone in. And it's like, you know, moving from one platform to another platform is like moving your business from one city to another.
Yes.
You might have some repeat clients and stuff like that still follow you, but you have to establish yourself in that new city. And that's what we're doing this year. We are so close to crossing $10 million raised since 2018 from Ben's community. And that like brings a tear to my eye to think that, I don't know, it's just, it's crazy because Ben gets a lot of the credit, but honestly, it's literally because of every single person that's donated. And we haven't forgotten about you. So definitely check out youtube.com/Dr. Lupo this weekend, 18th through the 19th. Donate if you can. Social support is always welcome as well if you can't donate.
Yeah. Yeah. You better go tune in. That was a great elevator pitch. You should absolutely tune in for Build Against Cancer and celebrate alongside Dr. Lupo as he crosses $10 million fundraise for St. Jude, which is astonishing. It's enough money to run the hospital for a few days, which is just, it's nuts. It's so exciting. You know, and from all of us at GCX, we're really looking forward to putting on an awesome event for you this year. And we hope that you will join us in welcoming Samantha Lupo onto our wonderful team. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, if you want to rate or subscribe, that's cool. But more importantly, if you thought of anybody while you were listening to the podcast today, I'd appreciate it if you shared it with them, because that's what this is all about. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful evening, chat, who is usually here but isn't. All right.
Okay,
Bye-bye.